chance I'll be out of here at a decent hour. At a decent hour. Okay, what is okay, I did the lunch, I did a start, and then roll call.
Mm.
Huh. Again. Uh, Alright. Mitten. One. Opa. Okay, what's happening? Hold on. What is this? Now this.
Has it started yet? Really make it free.
Alright. Let me. What happened was. What? Okay, wait. What about this? This. No, this isn't like this. Circle. No. That. What about this? No. Steve. Well, where's the? Where's, okay, swap share. No. Okay, wait. Well, maybe it's this one. Okay, it's that one. Okay, never mind. You know I'm always panicking. I'm viewing your screen, but I'm trying to get back to mine. Like, how do I get to my?
You have to exit full screen. Now you can get to your other.
Okay. I want to be able to see the
Minimize that, or hit the center button on that. No, not that one.
this one.
Yeah. And you can like slide it over.
Oh, okay. I never. Okay.
You have to do that too. go back halfway, and grab the top, click up in the blank area.
Oh, I think I wanna do it opposite.
Yeah, because you'll probably wanna make that a little bigger from time to time.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Cause I just need to be able to,
Invite,
no,
and mute.
mute, yeah. Mute and talk and stuff. But, okay, double screen, I like. So I've already made Eddie
Host.
host.
Okay. And I'm sharing the screen.
Okay. Let me see.
So that way you'll see people talking at the bottom and you'll see the board tabs at the top.
Okay.
We'll see how that goes.
All right. Thank you. Yeah, he's back there. Eddie's the host.
He's the hostess, poster with the moster. Okay, I got an extra chair here. Cold in here.
I know it is.
Dun, 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 dun. My pen. Okay. Is the guest, the presenter here? He's the swim coach person?
It's supposed to be he and poetry together.
You're muted, sir.
I know.
I'm not sure.
I know because I don't want you to hear what I'm saying. That's why I'm muted.
Wonderful. I wanted to make sure.
You so don't.
Yes, sir.
Just checking on the agenda and making sure everyone who's going to present is here. This is called housekeeping.
I appreciate you.
I'm going to mute myself again because I'm going to talk about you.
I'm looking. Yeah, I don't see Corsi either. So I don't see them. No.
Okay, if they're not here, then it's okay. I'm ready. Is Jamie in here? She has a microphone.
Okay. So all the board members on because I find it hard to hear.
Okay, if you look on the board members, it says board member in front of their name, then it's hyphen their name. See that? Whenever you see board, that's a board. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Terry's going to be on.
I don't see Miss Lawson as yet.
I also don't see Miss Lawson.
Let me check with her, and then we can.
She's having trouble. Is there a passcode? I tried to send her the link.
Let me.
She said it keeps asking for a passcode.
Okay. Yep, here I got it.
Who has it? Somebody has it.
Mm-hmm.
I just sent it to her, so she should be on shortly, and then we'll get started. Apologies, everyone who's waiting. Board members, just a reminder, we do need to be into board docs as well. There are a couple of things that will require a vote this evening, or for which a vote is requested this evening. Let me say it that way.
It's only one thing for Steve, right?
One thing for Steve, two things for town and one thing for Angel.
Okay, the principal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Shelley Mann on, so
Mhm.
I'll, let's see, where is she?
6.1 she should be.
Yeah, I'll ask her. I'll ask her if she wants to say something.
Okay.
Well, she's on, what's her, no, it's Kelly Mann.
No, it's Shelley
Shelley
Mans with an
I
S.
wouldn't mess that up. You shouldn't have hard people rename. We
No.
need an AIM Eris.
I mean, that is just too close. Shelley Mans and Kelly Mann.
I don't see her.
I saw her. She was on hers. It said her name, Shelley Mans.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna send Miss Lawson the invitation one more time.
I know. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Introduce her back. Y'all is doing that.
Everyone is watching right now, so make sure,
When I opened for the Whispers for the first time, the promoter said, "Okay, you ready?" I was sitting
Okay,
right
let's go
there.
ahead and start. Miss Lawson's still trying to get in, but let's go ahead and start. Oh, there she is. She's made it. Okay, perfect. Good evening. The hour of 7 p.m. having arrived and passed. Apologies for our tardiness. I call to order this agenda-setting meeting for the Woodland Hills School Board for the month of September 2020. Ms. Hawthorne, will you call the roll?
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Graves,
Yes, can I eat outside?
Mr. Graves,
Present.
Miss Erickson,
Present.
Miss Lawson,
Present.
Miss Curry, in here. Mr. Belmont,
Here.
Miss Scott, here. Miss Hodge,
Here.
Mr. Patterson,
Here.
Miss Curry,
I'm here.
Miss Glasser.
Present. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Remain standing for a moment of silence. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which
It stands,
one
one
nation
nation,
under God, indivisible,
indivisible, with liberty
and
and
justice
justice for all.
for all. The district wishes to express its condolences, apologies. The district expresses its condolences to Ms. Dara Johnson on the passing of her mother, Martha Surratt, and to Mr. Craig Mihalik on the passing of his mother, Miss Sandra Mihalik. Thank you. Okay. Next week, we will accept the minutes for the August agenda and legislative meetings. Are there any additions, corrections, notes for the minutes at this time? Okay, hearing none. The board met in executive session immediately preceding this meeting to discuss legal, personnel, and school safety matters as permitted by law. Mr. Harris, do you have announcements?
Yes, I do. I want to make everyone aware on our website, you could see a link to Trying Together Community Learning Hubs. It's a partnership with the Allegheny County Partners for Out of School Time and Trying Together. They have hubs located around the county, and you can see where they are on our website. Just go to the link, and I'll tell you the link in a second, but it's where students can go to get help doing their schoolwork online. They could work together. They're in a social, emotional area, and they could work together in what we call hubs or pods. If you go to our website, you can see the link. It's tryingtogether.org/community-learning-hubs. But you can see the link on our homepage. It's where students can go around the community and have support doing their schoolwork while we are currently virtual. And related to that, I want to remind everyone that we are currently in school. We are virtual. The grades count. So please have your children sign on daily and work with their teachers, K through 12, and participate in the classes every day. These classes do count. The grades matter. Teachers right now are doing a fantastic job of engaging with their students. And please make sure, parents, if you have trouble logging in, contact the schools. We have tech coaches available. The teachers should be your first contact, but if you can't reach them, we have principals and tech coaches, and if all else fails, call my office and I will direct you or get you the help that you need. But please make sure that your students are signing in every day and doing the work. If you have trouble signing in or can't log in, the first thing you do is reboot your computer. I had a few text messages this morning about students thinking the network had crashed. It did not crash. It was their computer. So please reboot, follow the steps, but contact the principals, contact my office, anywhere you need, we could get you the help that you need. But please have your students sign in and participate, please. Thank you. That's all I have.
Okay. Any other announcements from board members? Okay. Hearing none, I don't believe we have student speakers this month, and I don't believe there are any presentations. Is that correct, Mr. Harris?
Yes, no presentation.
No presentations. Okay. We have one registered speaker, Mr. Reamer. I don't see that name listed. Is there someone else?
No. I don't see him here. We were looking for him. Don't see him.
Yeah, I don't see him either. Okay. Unless one of the other names is Mr. Reamer. Going once. Okay. That moves us to board matters. Mr. Harris.
Okay, board matters 2.1. We seek the election of PSB officers as listed. Okay, President-elect David Hine, Vice President Sabrina Backer or Daniel O'Keefe, and Treasurer Michael Gossard, and Western at Large Marcia Pleta.
So we will need to make an election in the.
Yes, the way I was thinking of doing it, whenever we have the go around the table, we'll do. We'll just go around the table, take it verbal, and just have you give the vice president of your choice, and then concur with the rest of the ballot, since there's only one person running in each of the other offices.
Okay, and so that'll happen next week. The resumes and the credentials for the two candidates are on the website. Are they available in the attachments as well?
I think the bios are on the website. I put on what I could, but they may have more information on the website because they did provide us with some bio information.
Okay, there are live links in the board docs actually, so
Yep.
we can get the information there. So okay, so just encourage everyone to review the candidates for the vice president, which is the only competitive race for next week. Any other questions, comments from board members? Okay, hearing none. 2.2.
2.2. We seek approval of the Eastern Area Schools Joint Committee 2020-2021 elected officers and mail ballot.
Any questions? Hearing none. 2.3.
2.3, we seek approval of the C.C. Miller Memorial Library annual contribution of $11,000 from General Fund 10. Are there any questions?
Okay. 2.4.
2.4 board matters. We seek to take from the table item 2.1, first reading of policy 006.1 from the August 19th, 2020 legislative meeting. Any questions?
I have a question. That policy isn't listed in the tabs. Is it supposed to be?
It's on the next tab
Next tab.
where we'll actually have the action. This is the procedural step of removing it from the table.
Okay, sorry about that.
It's okay. $2.5.
Okay, 2.5, first and final reading of policy 006.1, volume 2, attendance at meetings with electronic communication.
Questions? Okay, hearing none. 2.6.
2.6 board matters. First and final reading of policy 830, live stream video.
Any questions? Okay, hearing none. Take the vote. Or no, sorry. 2.7.
2.7 board matters. Second reading of policy 103, volume 4, discrimination, title 9, sexual harassment affecting students. You'll see that there are updates in the attachments.
Okay.
Are there any questions?
The updates are related to the elections that are in there. Is that
Yes.
correct? Okay. Great. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, hearing none. 2.8.
Okay, board matters 2.8. Second reading of policy 104, volume 4, discrimination, Title IX, sexual harassment affecting employees, same as the previous policy, except for employees. The updates are in the policy. And,
There should be updates in the attachments there as well.
and the attachments.
Okay. All right, great.
Basically, on both of those, the updates are the options that we had to select. So you won't see the other options anymore, just what we selected within the policy.
Okay. All right. Any other questions? 2.9.
Board Matters 2.9, second reading of policy 317.1, volume 4, educator misconduct.
Any questions? Okay. Hearing none, 2.10.
Okay, Board Matters 2.10, second reading of policy 335, volume 2, family medical leaves. Are there any questions?
Hearing none, 2.11.
Board Matters 2.11, first reading of policy 237, electronic devices.
Any questions? Okay. Hearing none, curriculum, section 3, 3.1.
Okay, section 3, curriculum 3.1, we seek approval to enter into contract agreements with Allegheny Intermediate Unit to provide services for non-public schools as per federal programs. Any questions?
We should probably just make clear for the benefit of those listening what these funds are and what is happening here.
All right, so do you want to go or?
Sure, I'm happy to do that. So for 3.1 through 3.4, these are pass-through funds that are required to go directly to the vendors of the non-public schools in our area and that our students go to. So these are not funds that we have any control over. They are directly passed through to the vendors selected by the non-public schools.
Any questions? Okay, hearing none, 3.2.
Okay, that's 3.1. 3.2, we seek approval to enter into contract agreements with Pittsburgh Mount Oliver Intermediate Unit Number 2 to provide services for non-public schools as per federal programs. Any questions?
Hearing none, 3.3.
All right, 3.3. We seek approval to enter into contract agreements with Sound Foundation Reading Instruction LLC to provide services for non-public schools as per federal programs. Are there any questions?
Hearing none, 3.4.
3.4, we seek approval to enter into contract agreements with Step by Step Learning LLC to provide services for non-public schools as per federal programs. Questions?
Hearing none, 3.5.
Okay, 3.5, we seek approval to surplus and dispose of outdated curriculum materials at Dixon Preparatory STEAM Academy. Are there any questions?
Okay. Hearing none, 3.6.
3.6, we seek approval for Eddie Wilson and Renee Englert to attend the 2020 Virtual PA Association of Federal Program Coordinators Symposium. Any questions?
Hearing none, 3.7.
Curriculum 3.7, we seek approval to allocate up to $10,000 in matching funds to support the design and implementation of a virtual youth climate advocacy summit.
Any questions? Okay.
Okay.
Hearing none. 3.2.
3.8, we seek permission to ratify payment of Mr. Dwight Jones and Mr. Ivory Tolson, a consultant's fee for PD performed the week of August 17th.
Any questions? Okay. Hearing none, that moves us to special education, section 4.1.
Okay, this has to be voted on this evening. So, okay, special education 4.1, we seek approval of the September 9th, 2020 agenda setting meeting to ratify the tuition agreement with Holy Family from September 8th, 2020 until notification of withdrawal at a daily rate of $174.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Belmont. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Curry. Any questions or discussion? Ms. Zackel, can you give us an explanation of why this is on the agenda for tonight? Is she? Ms. Zackel.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, this tuition agreement is for one student within the district that is in need of full-time emotional supports. We looked at the programs of a few different schools, and as an IEP team agreed that Holy Family provided the best supports in which this child needs. He cannot begin until the contract is signed, and that's why I had requested that the asked that this be voted on this evening so that this young man can begin.
Any questions from board members? Discussion? Hearing none, Ms. Hawthorne, will you call the vote, please? We should be able to do that electronically.
Correct. I opened it up. I believe Mr. Belmont and Mr. Patterson may be having some trouble.
You're a sage, Therese. I vote yes.
Okay, thank you. How about you, Mr. Patterson? You can just give me a verbal.
I vote yes as well.
All right. Thank you.
Motion carries unanimously. That moves us to 4.2. Mr.
This
Harris.
is also a voting item. 4.2, we seek approval of the September 9th, 2020 agenda setting meeting for a letter of agreement with the day school at the Children's Institute for the 2020-2021 school year. The annual cost is $68,355.
Their motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Moved by Mr. Belmont, second by Ms. Curry. Ms. Zackel, would you once again give us some insight into why this is necessary this evening?
Yes, the same reason as the last tab. This is for an incoming kindergarten student who received early intervention services. We looked at 3 different schools, and the IEP team agreed to the Children's Institute because not only does the child have educational needs, but also he has medical needs, and the Children's Institute will be the best place for those needs to be met. And he cannot begin until there is a signed contract.
Thank you. Other questions or discussion on this item? Okay, hearing none. Ms. Hawthorne, take the vote.
This is Mr. Belmont, yes.
Mr. Patterson?
I vote yes as well.
Thank you.
Motion carries unanimously. That moves us to 4.3.
4.3, special education. We seek approval to contract with Wesley Family Services for one additional therapeutic classroom for the 2020-2021 school year at a service cost amount of $100,000. Any questions?
Hearing no questions, that moves us to section 6.
Section 6, personnel. This is a voting item also. 6.1, we seek approval at the September 9th, 2020 agenda setting meeting to hire Miss Shelley Manns as a high school assistant principal at a salary of $87,000 effective September 10th, 2020.
There a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Belmont. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Graves. Discussion of this would require executive session. Any need to step into executive at this time? Okay. Hearing none, Ms. Hawthorne, let's take the vote.
Mr. Belmont will vote yes.
Thank you.
Motion carries unanimously. Ms. Manns is on the call, and I do want to congratulate you. Welcome to Woodland Hills. Look forward to the good work that you'll do with us, and we're excited to have you with us. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for welcoming me to the Woodland Hills family.
We're glad to have you. Okay. That will move us to 6.2. Mr. Harris?
Okay, 6.2, personnel. We seek approval of Section B, authorizations for retirement, resignation. Section C, authorization to hire professional staff. Section D, authorization to hire non-professional staff. Section F, authorization for EDR mentor actions. And Section G, authorization for miscellaneous. Questions?
Once again, questions would require executive session. Any need for that at this point? Okay. Hearing none, that moves us to to 6.3, sorry.
6.3, we seek approval of the MOU of understanding between the Woodland Hills School District and the Woodland Hills Education Support Professional Association. Are there any questions?
There's no language for this as yet. Will that be on for next week?
Yes, Jamie, I'm just waiting for solicitor review and approval, and it will be attached.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
If it's possible, we could also get that, either get notice when it's added or an email with the language when it's ready. That would be great.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Any other questions? Okay. Section 7, technology.
Okay, 7.1 is also a voting item. 7.1, we seek permission at the September 9th, 2020 agenda setting meeting to purchase 600 additional Chromebook laptops through an authorized PEPPM vendor. Cost not to exceed $180,000, funds to come from COVID grants. Are there any questions?
First, is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Belmont. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Graves. We had some discussion about this at Technology Committee last week. I know there were some members absent that night. Mr. Muter, would you give the background on this once again for everyone's benefit?
Sure can. Yes, I'm asking for permission to purchase 600 Chromebooks. And as you all very well may know, that there's like a national shortage on laptops. Um, I do see opportunities come, but they come quickly. Usually by the time I would get an offer, uh, by the end of the day, those items are sold out. By you allowing me to have permission now, if I do have the opportunity to purchase from one of our PEPM vendors, I can do so quickly within the same day. There's still waiting lists. Some companies are only taking pre-orders. HP is about the best vendor out there, and the projected delivery dates are anywhere end of October to the end of December. So I'd like to get these amount ordered. So this will provide us with enough spare laptops and extra laptops moving forward throughout the whole entire school year. I don't know how long this shortage is going to last, but by acting on this now, I feel confident we'll have enough computers for the rest of the school year and into the fall, I hope.
Questions from other members?
Jamie, I have a question. Can we have Mr. Gigliotti speak to what kind of balance remains in the COVID funding? I just want to be really mindful with what we're using that on. I definitely think this is a worthwhile expense, but just want to make sure that we are keeping tabs on how much we're spending of that.
Mr. Gigliotti?
Yeah, I have to pull that out. I had it somewhere. Hold on one second.
I was also informed that we've recently obtained a few more new COVID grants. I'm not quite sure on all those amounts.
Okay. And while Mr. Gigliotti is looking for that answer from Ms. Scott, Mr. Muter, we have enough devices for everyone at this point, correct?
I want to say yes.
Okay.
We may be coming up a little short.
Okay. So there is a need to purchase some to make sure that we are getting devices to all the students at this point. So authorization is timely.
Yes.
Okay.
So we are going to receive $1,463,000 in CARES Act funds, and as of September 2nd, we had spent $510,000 of those funds. So there's about $900,000 remaining.
Mr. Gigliotti,
Great, thank you.
Sorry, Ms. Scott. Mr. Gigliotti, does that include the disbursements to the non-publics that we are required to make out of those funds?
I'm just giving you our dollar amount. The total dollar amount of the funds was $1,579,000. So that was net of what we provided to the non-pubs for the CARES Act regulation.
Okay. Any other questions from members?
Yeah, can I get a clarification from Mr. Muter? We don't have a Chromebook for every student, but we at least have them in all households. Is that correct?
Yes, I believe, yeah, all the students, the attendance, I believe, was pretty good, whether they're logging in with our devices or their own home devices.
Okay, great.
Okay, other questions? Hearing none. Ms. Hawthorne, let's take the vote.
I'll vote yes, Teresa.
Okay, thank you.
Motion carries unanimously. That will move us to 7.2.
Okay, 7.2. We seek permission to renew support on the data center's compelling disk storage system at a cost of $7,991.63 from General Fund 10. Are there there any questions?
Hearing none. 7.3.
All right, technology 7.3. We seek permission to have Horizon Information Services install district-provided surveillance cameras in the new administration area at the high school for the amount of $5,170 from Construction Fund 39. Any questions?
Hearing none. 7.4.
7.4, technology. We seek permission to subscribe to Google's G Suite Enterprise for the district from Amplified IT at a cost of $11,064. Funds to come from General Fund 10. Any questions?
I have a question. Mr. Muter, can you explain why we're purchasing the G Suite from a third-party vendor instead of directly from Google? Does that come with some maintenance plan or something along with it?
This company is partnering with Google. We talked directly to Google, and they are the ones who referred us to Amplified IT as their vendor of choice. And this also will add, a lot of enhancements to our Google Enterprise right now. That is the free version. If you can get us a better price.
Hey, I was just asking. I'm being very cautious with everything we said from the general fund. I'm very mindful of the fact that we've, gone a little harder on the tax burden this year. I want to make sure we're spending every penny where it needs to be spent. But I'm happy to do some background research if you want me to.
Yeah, if you can before the next meeting, I'd more than welcome a lower price. What this will do is it will give us a lot of advanced support, a lot of custom online training, a lot of analytic and security reportings, more enhancements with Google Meet, some video enhancements, a lot more Google Classroom tools for the teacher. And the one I like best is the plagiarism checker.
I have a question, actually circling back to that. Will that interface with all of the devices in the district, whether they are district owned or owned by the individual scholars' families?
A lot of the policies that we set are on their login accounts. So when they log into Google, whether it be our device or their device, they receive the policies that we establish.
Awesome. Thank you for clarifying that.
Mm-hmm.
I just had a general question because you explained pretty well what this is, Steve, Mr. Muter. But are there levels to this option? So these are this one part of addition to make things smoother, or I'm trying to understand just the complete function of adding on, because it's not very, it's not cheap.
Yes. I did include a little PDF there that showed some of the comparisons between the free edition and the upgraded enterprise edition. And no, this is the only flavor that they provide.
Okay, thank you. That's what I was asking.
Okay.
Other questions? Okay. Hearing none. 7.5.
Technology 7.5. We seek permission to enter into a 5-year contract with Carbon Lehigh for Power School support at an annual cost of $23,625 from General Fund 10. And that's the Carbon Lehigh Intermediate Unit 21.
Questions? Okay. Hearing none. Section 10, Buildings and Grounds.
Okay, Buildings and Grounds 10.1. We seek approval of change order number 2 from Canfield Development, Inc., totaling $4,725 from Capital Project Fund number 39.
Questions? Hearing none. 10.2.
10.2, Buildings and Grounds. We seek approval to hold the 6 Feet Trick or Treat event sponsored by Hugs at the Intermediate School on Saturday, October 24th, 2020. Are there any questions?
Was this discussed at committees last week too? Because this is the first time hearing of it, but I wasn't at Wednesday's committee meetings.
It was discussed at committees last week.
Okay, great. I'll circle back to get more info besides what's in the board tab. Thanks.
Sure. Any other questions? Okay. Hearing none. 10.3.
Okay, 10.3, Buildings and Grounds. We seek permission to allow the Edwards family to utilize the Woodland Hills High School parking lot on Saturday, September 26, 2020. The Edwards family is celebrating their 50th wedding anniversary on Saturday, September 26th, and would like to park cars in the high school parking lot. Are there any questions?
Okay. Hearing none. School Finance, Section 14, 14.1.
Okay, School Finance 14.1, we seek ratification of the bill list for invoices paid after the August 19, 2020 legislative meeting. Are there any questions?
Okay. Hearing none. 14.2.
Okay, 14.2, we seek approval of the September 2020 bill list. Questions?
Hearing none. 14.3.
14.3, we seek the acceptance of the August 2020 fund financial reports and student activity reports for informational purposes. Are there any questions?
Hearing none. 14.4.
14.4, we seek approval of the investment reports for August 2020. Are there any questions?
Hearing none. I believe that moves us to old business. Is there any old business from the board? Any new business? Okay. That moves us to committee reports. On the list, the first up is athletics. Mr. Belmont, do you want to update on athletics?
Excuse me, Jamie.
Yes, Mr. Gigliotti.
I thought I sent my committee report in last week. I just attached it. So if the board would refresh, the screen, they'll see it. But it is attached.
Thank you. I do see it. So I have that. If all else fails, I have it. So, Mr. Belmont, athletics. Do you want to recap the athletics?
Jamie, I can't pull up that attachment.
Okay. Then I will speak to that, unless Mr. Graves or Ms. Lawson wishes to do that, since they are the other committee members.
I can do it. I can pull it up.
Okay. There's not a whole lot there in terms of the update. We had the special meeting.
Yes. Basically, what we did with athletics, we had to decide whether or not we were going to play fall sports, and we voted to play fall sports. So that's about it.
And the lights at the soccer stadium.
Oh yeah, how'd that look anyway? I didn't even get a chance to go out there and look at it.
It looks great. I'll send you pictures. It was a lot of fun. It was a good night, so thank you to Mr. Finney and Mr. Corsi for putting that together as well. It was nice to see the kids enjoying the new field and the lights. So the track was starting today as well. It's just an update there. We can get to that in facilities too. But okay. Okay, special education, Ms. Seligson.
Okay, sorry about that. Trying to pull up two screens here. I'm sorry, tired.
No worries. If you want to pass it off, we can have somebody else take it.
Jesus Christ. Okay. We talked about the full-time emotional support and therapeutic classrooms at the high school for special education. Actually, I guess at all levels there, how many students we need. For people personnel, I'm sorry, Jamie. I'm so out of it here. I don't even see it attached on here.
People personnel was a separate email from Ms. Golden. I have pulled that up so I can share that one.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Ms. Golden sent a separate update to indicate Family Links has been in process. We have been assigned a therapist for the district. Ms. Golden continues to hold meetings with the district providers who help us with the student assistance program, and those virtual meetings have begun. Mr. Wilson, Ms. Englert, and Ms. Golden went and met with childcare providers throughout the district who are assisting with virtual learning in an effort to keep them informed. There is to be a follow-up meeting on that issue this coming Friday to keep them up to date. I think we would welcome input from other childcare providers, if I could be so bold as to say that. And so if there's anyone listening who is a childcare provider or knows one who would benefit from a conversation, please give us a call. The asthma clinic that we do in partnership with Duquesne School of Pharmacy, Duquesne University School of Pharmacy, will be in place on September 21st and 22nd. Social distancing is in place. Also working on a flu shot clinic with the School of Pharmacy. Ms. Golden is working to set dates for the mobile dentist and Vision to Learn. I believe those are being set now. And our online academy, the WOA program, began last week, which is earlier than has historically happened. So that is good news as well. And last note, registration for new students has been pushed out to the individual school buildings. And that began on Monday, August 31st. So if there's anyone who needs to register a new student, that will be done in the building of your choice or the appropriate grade level building if you're in 6th through 12th grade. So that is that. Last update from special ed, two more updates, I guess. There's also, we will be starting in-person instruction with students who require that based on their IEP needs, and that will begin next week. And in addition, the students who have an IEP and will be receiving remote learning have gotten an updated student learning plan as an addendum to that document. So there is that.
What's Dr. Woods asking about study table tutoring for students experiencing difficulties? Was that for special ed?
I don't know what that is about. When we get to public comment, Dr. Woods, we can, if you want to share that, we can talk about that. Not sure if that's something that is happening that we need to update on, or if that is a point of discussion that you'd like to have, but we can do that in public comment. Okay.
I have reports too. We're back in person for our meetings. Things are going well. Our student population is surprisingly up. And so far, so good.
Okay. Great. Mr. Patterson, do you want to read the update for curriculum? If
I can. Agenda 1, updates and extension on apps, Google Classroom updates, and we went over most of the policies during the agenda meeting tonight. Attendance in meetings with electronic communications, Discrimination, Title IX, sexual harassment affecting students, that was updated. The discrimination, Title IX, sexual harassment affecting staff, update. Electronic devices, educator misconduct, new policy update, change of code, family and medical leaves, new, and the live stream video. And we all discussed those throughout the meeting tonight.
Thank you for that. Mr. Graves, do you have the finance update?
Yes, I do believe I do. Review following agenda items for PSBA election, Eastern Area School election, and Meller contribution request and Canfield change order. We discussed the 403B plan agreement on the 15-year service catch-up. Reviewed the CARES Act funding at 1.4 million allocation and 500,000 is spent to date. We discussed the health and safety grant, which is received 301,435, and we allocated 73,942 spent to date. Reviewed the capital project funds, which is 458,000, and we did the capital reserve balance of 54,000. Discussed presidential executive order on memorandum of deferring payroll tax obligations, and we recommended we not to follow this order since it isn't mandated and could be very difficult to manage amongst employees.
All right, thank you for that. I can update on technology. We heard a lot about these tabs this evening, and Mr. Muir was kind enough to give us some updates, so I'll just touch briefly on the new surveillance installation, the G Suite purchase, new phones, and additional laptops, although the ask was increased. Mr. Muir also updated us on the distribution of laptops, on the service called ClassLink that allows us to push things out through Google Classroom and to move PowerSchool classes into Google Classroom. Student passwords were reset. If anybody's having trouble with that, please also reach out to your schools. Each school did get 20 of the hotspots that we purchased and has been distributing those. If there's a need for anyone to acquire internet access that doesn't currently have it at home, please do contact your school. We have opportunities for not only the hotspots, but some other options as well, as I understand it. And finally, the new technology in the 100 wing at the high school, which has been renovated, is available, is being installed as we speak. So that moves us to food service and transportation. Ms. Curry.
I'm not sure where you guys are reading all these from. I missed that part.
So on the agenda, there is an attachment. On the board docs, there's an attachment for under reports.
Under reports. I mean, I just see general updates. Is that?
There's the committee updates and the finance recap. If you don't see it, read it.
Yeah, the food service and the transportation were just general discussion there. Why, nothing was turned in. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I remember we talked about food distribution happening now, and transportation was just having some difficulties with the schools that were opening and not opening, giving the updates in a timely manner so our buses weren't driving around not picking up children. That's all I recall.
Okay.
I have a question in regards to the food distribution, and maybe so I wasn't at Wednesday's meeting, so I don't know, Rana, if you were able to speak to this or if someone else on the call. My husband was informed when he went to pick up lunch for my daughter one day this week that the schools are now providing free lunches to all children under 18 in households in our district, not just our students. Is that accurate?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
And there's information regarding that Miss Nick, I can ask Miss Nicklow to send that. I believe it went out. I know that I saw an email about it. I apologize. I'm not sure if the full board was on it, but if not, we'll make sure that we get that information out. But yes.
Yeah, I think that'd be worthwhile just to make sure that folks in the community are aware of that change as well.
Yeah, really fair. But yes, so to expound on that a little bit, there was a change. It's changed so that it was similar to what was happening in the spring, as opposed to restricting it to only our students.
Yeah, I figured that it was probably a continuation of like the free summer lunches in light of the like current situation of the world. But I think it would be helpful for folks who maybe live within our district but don't have kids enrolled in our schools to be aware that those are available to them as well. So maybe we can blast that out on our district sites and our website as much as possible, any place that folks might see it.
It is on the website under the COVID tab.
Oh, it's under COVID updates? Okay. Thanks, Rana.
Yep, no problem.
All right, and finally, facilities. We had a presentation from I apologize, I'm blanking on the name of the company, but we had a presentation regarding repairs to the concrete at the Wolverina and also to the press box there, which is in need of a roof. In addition, there was discussion about potential improvements, repairs, and restoration of the roof at the Wilkins building, which is nearing the end of its useful life. And then we did discuss also the 6 feet trick or treat, which is the new iteration of trunk or treat in COVID times. We can have additional discussion about that, but basically it'll be a drive-through situation, at least in part, and there'll be more information to follow on that as we go through. So those are the reports. I will also update on the Sunrise School. We will be voting on next week on the Eastern Area Board. That is the Sunrise Board on which I sit, although I'm not on the slate because I'm not going to be an officer. There is going, as we have discussed previously, there continues to be conversation about the facilities needs at that school. The roof that was installed relatively recently is failing, and there's discussion about whether there's a need for litigation regarding the warranty on that question. And then other facilities needs as well. There was a study completed, which I will share with all of you, and Mr. Harris and Mr. Gigliotti have already seen it, I believe, regarding the physical plant at that school. So that's a conversation that we have. As you guys know, we are part of the jointure that is responsible for the upkeep of the building there. So we do have some legal obligation toward that. We need to discuss exactly how that looks for us and what that means at some point before long. So that's the update there. I do expect there's going to be a meeting where the superintendent and Mr. Gigliotti will be invited to attend to discuss these things. So that's the update from Sunrise. Also updates from the AIU, moving slowly back toward in-person meetings there as well. Basically status quo, getting the school year started in the schools, and school safety plans over there as well. So not a whole lot of excitement at the IU, but there is continuing work over there as well. So that's what I know about reports. Anyone else have a report to make? Okay. Hearing none, that moves us to public comment. Is there anyone who wishes to address the board? Please use the raise hand function.
Jamie, before we go into public comment, can I say something?
Sure.
I wanted to take a minute to thank Mr. Harris and his staff and administration for having a good start to the school year with their planning and getting us all virtual and not having too many hitches when it comes to that. You know, that extends also to the building principals and the staff and the teachers that started out the school year pretty successfully. I haven't heard much negative comment back from parents or anything. So it seems like we had a really good start to our school year, starting out virtually. And I'd like to thank the district and everybody who's involved in getting us back started to school and getting our kids, getting our kids back to classes.
Thank you. I will second that, and I think I've heard a lot of really positive stuff in the community as well, and I think that's a great reflection on the work that was done this summer by the entire team, and that includes teachers who got themselves educated. It includes all of the administration who did all the planning. I'm extremely grateful for what I know was a lot of work that was done over the summer, and I hope that will be conveyed. I hope our thanks will be conveyed to everyone. See if we can find a way to do that formally at some point as well. But in this setting, Mr. Graves, you're much appreciated for bringing that up. I'm glad that you didn't let the evening go by without saying that. So thank you again.
No problem.
I could just add on. The reason why it went so well to start, because everybody in the community was involved. I mean, we had open forums for everyone. If they wanted to weigh in and offer an opinion or a suggestion or an idea, everyone was involved. So it wasn't just the administration or teachers. I mean, everybody was involved. Nurses were fantastic. Ray Milligan, the union, they were fantastic to support union. But it was really the parents who weighed in and offered their suggestions, starting really the day after we shut down, on what we should do and how we should proceed. And we took all those things into account. So when we came time to what we needed to do, everybody was already on board with it. So it was about communication and it being inclusive of the situation that we were in and involving everyone. And everyone, I think, had an equal piece in contributing to our success in reopening this year. So I want to thank all the families and parents and all the little kids who got onto Zoom meetings too. Everybody was involved.
Well, I appreciate your efforts, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so now public comment. Is there anyone who wishes to address the board? You can use the raise hand function, which you can find by clicking the participants, and the option will appear. Dr. Woods.
Okay, so we 2 minutes. I don't even need that much. So we're running the grade reports, and we're doing the at-risk reports, and we're experiencing students that are having challenges. And this type of time of year, we usually have our study table up and running. I would like to discuss how we can utilize the study table to help students who are in need. Now, the old way we did study table, we had the entire team come. But this way, I would like to do it needs-based, and then we'll start with our athletes, and then we'll go to special ed, and then we'll go to any student that needs help. And I don't know what the situation is with transportation, so I would like to start virtually, and then if that's not fruitful, then make arrangements to have the kids come to the school and use social distancing, because I know the main objective is to try to integrate getting kids back to the school. That's my spiel.
Thank you, Dr. Woods. We will follow up, as we do with public comment, we'll follow up with that following the meeting. So thank you for that. Any other members of the public who wish to address the board at this time? Yes, Ms. Hamlet.
I won't turn my camera on this evening. I look terrible. But as always, I don't have a question. I have a comment. I am still pleased as punched up here in Shell Font with this plan. I defend you all everywhere to parents who are just mad. I'm talking about like angry about your plan. I defend you all everywhere. I brag everywhere I go, especially to the parents in the better off school districts. I'm like, just look at y'all floundering all over the place while Woodland Hills has been working since March to be sure our students were ready. I'm just happy all around as always, and I just want to show my gratitude as I do almost every time we have a meeting. So I'm happy.
Thank you for that. Appreciate
You're welcome.
you being here. Anyone else who wishes to address the board? Okay. Seeing none, Mr. Harris, let's move to adjournment.
Okay, adjournment 20.1. We seek permission to adjourn the September 9th, 2020 agenda setting meeting.
Is there a motion?
So move.
Moved by Mr. Belmont. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Graves. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone? Thank you all. We will see you next week. The legislative meeting is next Wednesday.
All right. Good night, everyone.